What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, Young Jupiter, Big Jupiter, or you can just call me Jupiter. Just make sure you call me. Before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Today, we got 4 prisoners getting life after killing they cellmate. Now, you already in jail. So for you to kill somebody, why are you in jail? You just got to be crazy. Just got to call it what it is. I'm going to link to the original video down below if y'all want to check it out for yourself. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Prison is without question a terrible place to be in. We have for decades heard stories of chilling incidents going down in prison, and today we bring you some of the worst. Number 4. Stephen Sanderson. Some people think Stephen D. Sanderson is a hero for slaying his child molester prison cellmate, Sanderson said, but he wants the world to know he isn't. Sanderson laid out his rationale for the slaying before a Saginaw County judge. Then on April 22, he returned to court to hear his sentence. Sanderson said some people have criticized his actions as well. I just did what I thought was best in the time I was given, Sanderson continued. I've been getting these emails saying that, it's not my position to judge anybody.
And I want to make it quite clear that I didn't judge him. I know God is the only judge we have. I've just set the appointment up. I've been getting these emails.
Damn, I gotta use that. He's only God can judge, but I set the appointment up. That's a bar. Ooh, I'm still in that.
It's not my position to judge anybody.
I want to make it quite clear that I didn't judge him. I know God is the only judge we have. I just set the appointment up. Sanderson, 51, pleaded guilty in February to second degree for slaying the 67-year-old Dyer, a Grand Haven native who was serving a 25-year minimum sentence for first-degree criminal physical conduct against someone under the age of 13. Sanderson already is serving life without parole for slaying his girlfriend in 1991 in Wayne County. In a confession to police the next day, Sanderson said he confronted Dyer about his conviction and that he began assaulting Dyer after
He was already in there for some wild shit. That's the thing. So it didn't even matter to him. It's like he was gonna die in there anyway. Lucky.
or justify it. After knocking Dyer unconscious, Sanderson used Dyer's shoelaces to strangle him. Sanderson told police.
That night he was trying to justify why he did it, and I just told him to be quiet and he would have to leave in the morning to find a new cell. He was my bunkie, and he was in prison for child molestation. Really bad case. Continued to talk about it and try to justify it, so he was a little bit bigger than me, so I got down and I hit him in his face a few times, and when he fell, I wrapped a cord around his neck and I took his life.
But you did in fact kill him.
Oh, sure.
And you intended to.
Oh, sure, yes. The reason I killed him was because he was a child molester.
Borchard, without further comment, sentenced Sanderson to the maximum penalty of life in prison with the possibility of parole. Number 3. Deshaun Madden. An Alger County inmate found guilty for slaying his cellmate has been sentenced to prison. 23-year-old Deshaun Madden has been sentenced to a minimum of 60 years and a maximum of 90 years after he was found guilty of second degree. That sentence is to be served consecutively with his current term of a minimum of 16 years and a maximum of 30 years for attack with intent to commit slaying, robbery, and carjacking. Madden was found guilty by a 12-person jury after a 5-day trial in April. The jurors deliberated for 2 hours before reaching their verdict. Officials found Madden's cellmate, Rodriguez Montez Burks, lifeless wrapped in blankets in his cell at the Alger Correctional Facility. According to the autopsy report, Burks passed away from a closed head injury. The prosecution argued that the approach that if both inmates were begging to move, the jail staff would have separated the two cellmates. She said that prison staff does not intentionally make the lives of prisoners worse.
And I asked him, I said, what'd you do? He said, I told you guys to move me. I proceeded to go down to the cell. I noticed there was a bundle of blankets on the bottom bunk.
I just looked at Officer Eisman. I said, he's dead. He was sweaty, real slippery sweaty.
The prison officers and the inmates that testified also had different viewpoints on the relationship between Burks and Madden. The officers thought Burks felt threatened by Madden. However, Alger County prosecuting attorney Karen Barman highlighted one point from the testimonies. Everyone agreed that it was possible to escape an undesirable cellmate.
I really need to get moved. I've been placed in the cell with a homo in parentheses, and that's not something I'm into. This is degrading.
So he killed him because so what I'm taking from this is he killed him because he didn't want to be cellmates because he was gay. That's what I think I'm getting from this. I think. Oh yeah, that's what they saying. Shit, it's crazy.
Uncomfortable. I need to move today. I talked with the staff soon as I seen his.
Now, it's true that if you ask for protection, you're going to be thought of as a wimp. If you take a ticket, it goes on your institutional record, but you don't have to kill your cellmate, and everybody knows that. The defense argued Madden had no intent to slay Burks, and that it was a fight gone wrong. Attorney Derek Swajinen said that while no one will ever know what exactly went on in the cell, much of the testimonies discussed what took place after Burks.
I really want to know, is something going on that is more going on than what's being said? I don't know. It's just off.
Passed away, and that the jury had to examine whether the incident was premeditated and deliberate. Sometimes there might be the I can't make the decision as to first degree, second degree, involuntary or voluntary manslaughter. Did he probably do it or maybe might have done it? We as that during voir dire. Is that good enough to our standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt? No, Swajinen told the jury. Number 2, Jamie Osuna. Jamie Osuna, convicted in the 2011 slaying of a woman in Bakersfield, was found incompetent to stand trial in the grisly slaying of his cellmate. Kings County Judge Randy Edwards made the finding after listening to testimony from 2 psychiatrists who determined Osuna did not understand the criminal proceedings against him and could not assist his legal team in the preparation of a defense. Criminal proceedings were then suspended until Osuna, 32, is restored to competency.
Because obviously if a person is incompetent, that person will not understand the proceedings, and obviously that's a fundamental violation. What they want to know is this person competent to proceed to trial?
Jamie Osuna, 31, is accused of using a makeshift knife to decapitate and dissect.
Bro, just look at his tattoos, bro. God damn.
Removing an eye, a finger, and a portion of the man.
What would possess you to do all of that? Is he mentally stable?
Romero, who has spent 27 years in prison, was put in the cell with Osuna after arriving from Mule Creek State Prison, according to the lawsuit. He was convicted of second degree after fatally shooting a woman in Compton when he was a teenager and associating with gang members. He was nearing parole eligibility. His new cellmate Osuna was serving a life sentence for the slaying and torture of Yvette Pena, 37, at a Bakersfield motel in 2011. With face tattoos and flair for Charles Manson-like satanic antics, he became a dark figure during the 2017 trial, mocking the victim's family and bragging to a television news reporter of his love of torturing people. Sometime in the early hours of March 9, 2019, Osuna methodically tortured and slayed Romero. Using a razor-style blade attached to a handle, Osuna ultimately cut Romero's head. He also posed the body, slicing Romero's face open on either side of his mouth to resemble an extended smile. Guards found Osuna wearing a necklace made of Romero's body parts. Why the officers did not discover the grisly scene earlier is not detailed in.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, the guards didn't hear nothing, see nothing, shit.
Reports. But a lawsuit by Romero's family says the bars were covered by a white sheet, suggesting the guards failed to make a thorough check of the cell. The Department of Corrections disputed the findings of the reports, saying in a statement it had conducted a thorough and complete investigation from the very beginning. The family's lawsuit also questions why Romero was in a cell with Osuna, a convicted slayer and self-styled Satanist with a history of attacking his cellmates. The idea that my client had to sue.
He had a history of doing it, like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. That shit is crazy.
In order to get basic questions answered about her son's passing is disheartening, said Justin Sterling, the attorney for Romero's mother. Number 1, Derek Romano. A man who was serving a prison sentence for slaying a pizza delivery driver will now spend another 17 years behind bars for taking the life of his cellmate.
The pizza guy, bro. The pizza guy.
Derek Romano was serving a 55-year sentence for the slaying of 49-year-old pizza delivery driver John Sullivan in Indianapolis in January 2014. Jeremiah Roberts was his accomplice in that incident. Roberts was serving a 68-year sentence at Wabash Valley Correctional Facility, where Romano was also serving time. The two requested to become cellmates and had shared a living space since September 26, 2019. Roberts was found lifeless in his bunk on May 3, 2020. Romano told investigators the two inmates were drinking homemade wine the night before and arguing over stupid stuff when he lost control, beating Roberts to his end with his hands and feet. Roberts suffered severe injuries to his head and neck. Blood was found splattered throughout the cell. Romano had blood and bruising on his feet. Court documents say Romano left notes on the wall of the cell. One read, "Time of death 10:30 p.m." and another said, "Pray for the man who died here, for he lived and died a better man than me." Romano pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter in Robert slaying in exchange for dismissing a slaying charge. That's all for this video, folks.
Bro, people are really crazy out here for real. And you would think like this is some shit you see on TV, but this is real shit. Alright, damn. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you will. I'm out.